All right, so the last episode of season 2 of Kaiju number 8 went, and it's done. So 11 episodes. There will not be another episode next week. Kind of ended like, typically when a season ends for an anime, it ends on like this pretty big cliffhanger, like, or maybe there's like a post-credit cliffhanger. They didn't even do that. I don't know. Maybe it's a 2-core for season 2. Is that how you pronounce that word? I don't know. Maybe it'll have a part 2 of season 2 basically at some point. I don't know. But it just kind of just left. Like, you almost would expect another episode next week, but I just searched it on Google and apparently there is no episode. So, it's pretty interesting overall because, firstly, if you're not somebody that's read the manga, if you're anime only, I just want you to know the story's about to end. Like, they are in the final arc of it. Now, they could pad it out a little bit, but they've shown, like, there hasn't been any filler. There hasn't been many filler scenes, period. Like, I think there was one scene I caught on to in the manga, or in the episode today that wasn't in the manga. I don't remember. It was the card thing. I don't remember the card thing in the manga. Maybe I have to go back and read it again. But if that is the case, maybe I'm wrong. But if that is the case, there's not a lot of that, right? And so, like, it's funny because this story is so short that we're only in season 2, and we just finished season 2, and we're already done. Not really, but almost. Like, season 3 will definitively be the end of it. And so they could do a number of different things. Maybe they do some sort of movie, hashtag movie in the comments. Maybe they do some of that stuff, and all that stuff. But the good news is we didn't get a tie-in again. So if you watched my video the other day, in the thumbnail title, just to jog your memory of it, was Start Saving, and it had like Chester on there. And there was one with Suited, depending on which one you saw. There was some A/B testing going on. And so, let me know in the comments, by the way, which one you saw. Anyway, I thought that the comments in that video were hilarious, by the way. Everyone was like, save what? We got nothing to save. So I thought those were super funny. I was like, you better start saving them pennies. That's what you said. Kaiju number 8 said start saving, man. They don't care. So if there was a tie-in this week on Saturday, that would have been pretty bad because that would mean 4 banners in like 8 days. Like, that is a ridiculous release schedule, especially considering the fact they were not like completely a week out. There were some of those were like a week and a half separated, and still they found a way to show 4 characters if they had done it today in about a month span. Because it's Reno, who's technically, maybe if you want to remove Reno, because he's technically a launch banner. They tied in and dropped the game the same day, so I guess. So maybe you could say 3 if you want to, but I'm including Reno because he was a separate gacha. Anyway, so they had that, then Sagan, and then obviously Hoshina is up now, and then that would have been 4 technically if another one dropped. Now, here's the deal. Well, there is still that big update that's coming on the 1st. And with that, a number of things are coming. And so if you saw my video that I was talking about earlier, I talked about how they were either going to drop a tie-in today, which didn't happen, or they're going to drop a gacha on the 1st. With that Steam release, Chapter 4, all that stuff. And the reason why is because Sagan will be gone. The only thing up will be Hoshina, for one. And by the way, if the only other time they would be able to release a character on schedule, okay, this broke. The only other time they'd be able to release a character on schedule would be with the October 9th update. And if they extend that far out, that would also see Hoshina's banner leave too. I don't see them going 2 more weeks. So 3 weeks total between Hoshina and a new character. I just don't see it happening. They also tweeted out an image of Chester saying that Chapter 4 is coming. Chester is the new blonde closer character. He hasn't, I don't believe, showed up at all, like period, in the story. So he will be introduced. Now, I did caution that just because he's introduced, that doesn't mean he will immediately become a playable character. Sagan was introduced for a few chapters before she became playable, quote unquote. I mean, it was a week later, but who's counting, right? Oh, wait, me. So in all seriousness, maybe that is the case. But yeah, I feel pretty strongly that they will have a new gacha up on the 1st, because there was a number of events that will be also live on the 1st. The raid battle here is probably going to be expired on the 1st, which, by the way, low-key kind of thinking about it, low-key kind of BS that they did this, right? Because, and I get we needed content too, right? But there's going to be a new wave of players that are going to start the game for the first time, and this will already be gone. And frankly, they wouldn't have been able to really participate anyway. You need a couple days to really get going, right? So that's kind of unfortunate for them. But hey, their loss, our gain. I'm not mad at it. And so other than that, though, like I said, I think Chester could be coming out. Maybe they still do some sort of anime tie-in. It would probably be for Kikaru. I doubt it, though. You know, another thing that kind of annoyed me was they tweeted out an image of, let me see if I can pull that up here. They tweeted out an image of Kafka or KN8. They tweeted out KN8. And with that scene actually also was not in that episode, unless there was a post credit I didn't see. It's a scene where he's saying, "Oh, this guy's mine." Wait, did they delete that? They did delete it. Oh, no. There it goes. Okay. This guy's all mine. Let me see if I can show it to you guys. You drag the URL into OBS that will automatically add this. Okay, yeah, whatever. Just show it. Like this didn't even show up in there. Like, seriously, he didn't fully transform in that scene. He does in the manga. He did not fully transform in that scene. He kind of just, like, partially phases, but it's because the episode ends so abruptly, right? When you know, so just kind of weird. Like I said, unless there's a post I didn't see, but yeah, so that's also kind of weird. I wonder if they would have considered dropping a kaiju if he actually fought that guy in this episode, which they clearly didn't do because they focused more of the stuff on other characters. Really, this is an annoying part of the story, frankly, because they have four ongoing fights at the same time. So they were kind of jumpy a lot in the episode. They were jumping around quite a lot, and it was kind of hard to follow. Felt like they were missing stuff, like you're missing context. The stuff's just kind of happening. They didn't really adapt it the best. Like, they could have really spent a few more episodes fleshing out those fights, I thought. Maybe they will do that in season 2, because otherwise, the point is, season 2 kind of is like, it may be a 12 episoder and it's done. Or season 3, I mean. It may be 12 episodes and it's done. Like, seriously, they could do that. It's with the pace they go with the anime, they could certainly do that. But yeah, if there was a tie-in, it probably would have been Kikaru because she was the most featured. So let me know what you guys thought overall of, for one, the episode, and two, about the fact we didn't get anything. I know a lot of people are pretty happy about that because this game's release schedule, like I was explaining, has been way too fast. It certainly isn't up to speed with the free rewards as well. But new story chapter coming out. I'm sure most people are excited about that. And hopefully you actually read it and enjoy it and don't finish it in 5 seconds. For the record, there will be other things that launch in the first. But if you are expecting the game to all of a sudden have hours of playable content, it's not going to happen. Okay? I regret to inform you, it is not going to happen because you're already caught up on the game. Now, for the Steam players that are just starting the game, there will be players that are transferring and cross-saving, and they're not going to be in that boat. You and I, whatever, if you start playing. But there will be players that I've seen a lot of people that didn't want to play on their phone for one reason or another, and there will be brand new players. For them, they'll have, I mean, it's not a ton, but they'll have everything and the simple progression as a new, fresh game for them. So there will be content for you to play on the first. But it's not like there's going to be hours of content, really. And I think kind of that's okay. This game kind of turns into a side game, log in, log out, get some big number hits in versus the raid battle. They're just so silly. The billions of damage characters are just silly. It's absolutely silly. And that's kind of just is what it is. So maybe temper expectations, right? If you're complaining about content, you're probably still going to be complaining about content even for the next couple weeks. So just want to make that very clear. But if you want to know more about what's happening on the 1st, what's happening on the 9th as well, because there is an event that they've teased as well, you can click the video on the screen and it should take you to all that I have on that.